tomorrow we'll take the test. Today we're going to practice. I changed the numbers, okay? I didn't change the exponents, and I didn't change the words. So the questions will be exactly the same. Eva, can I get you to close the door, please? So let's read the first one, and then we're gonna figure out what it actually is asking, okay? I need you to focus. By the way, at all times, if you need a place value chart, you're more than welcome to get one, okay? Says the following equations involve different quantities and use different operations, yet produce the same result. Now, would you like me to repeat that in words you can understand?
Yes.
Okay. So this first problem is multiplying by 10 to the third, and we got 3,170 for the answer. The second problem is dividing by 10 to the second, and we got 3,170 for the answer. Now, how is that possible? Any ideas? Well, you're getting closer. You're close when you say that. Jose?
When it, on division, it says by 2, and then all you gotta do is move the take your decimal and put the 2 0.
Okay. Yeah. And so that's what Anna said. That's very close. What do you do when you multiply, boys and girls? Your number gets what?
Bigger.
So it increases, okay? And then what do the digits do on the place value chart? Because it says use a place value chart.
They move over.
They move over. So for each exponent, they're moving over which way?
Right.
To the left. Yeah. And when you divide, the number gets what? Smaller. And the numbers are moving
Right.
to the right. Well, why don't we just show that on a place value chart, how those numbers move, and then we'll write a sentence.
Dividing is left and...
Well, depends on if you're doing decimal half or digits on a place value chart, okay? So for right now, let's make 2 place value charts, okay? I'm going to make one under this problem and one under the other problem, and you need 2 lines and about 8 columns. And then we'll place the decimal here. So this is tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Should I do ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and I need one more. So 100,000. Go all the way to 100,000. So I'm going to pause it while you make 2 place value charts, okay? So now that you have both your place value charts on there, let's show what we just said, that when you multiply, the number increases and the digits move to the left. So start by putting 3 17/100 on the place value chart. And the first problem says to multiply times 10 to the third. So if I multiply times 10 to the third, how many place values do my digits move? 3. And when I multiply, the number increases, so my digits will move to the left. And my answer looks to me like it's 3,170. Okay, did you write that down? And what do we write above it? Times, you're close, 1,000. 10 to the third is 1,000. Okay. So when I multiply, the number increases and the digits move to the left, right? Let's write that down. When I multiply, the number increases and the digits move to the left. That's what we just showed, okay? Now when you divide, it's sort of the opposite, isn't it? Well, wait a minute. Are multiplication and division kind of opposite?
Yes.
They really are, kind of like addition and subtraction, okay? So I'm going to put 317,000 on my place value chart. And what does it say to do? Divide by 10 to the second. Does everyone see the problem?
Yes.
So if I divide, my number is decreasing. And Jose says divided by 100. So I'm going to move all the digits over to place values. And sure enough, got the same answer that I had on the first one. Now pretty much the only thing I'm going to do is change these words right here. On the other one, when I divide, the number, what?
Move to the right.
Decreases. And that's correct. The digits move to the right. Whoops. Okay. So this one's divide, decrease, and right. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. This one's fun. It says use an area model to explain the product of 5 3/10 and 4. Write the product in standard form, word form, and expanded form. What is a product? The answer to...
Multiplication.
Okay, so what am I probably going to do on this problem? Multiply, and it says area model. So my area model would be where I put the numbers on the side and the top, and it's like length times width. But we do it with place values. So it looks like this. In the first column, I'm going to have 5 what? Ones. And the second column, 3/10. And then underneath this area model, I've got a little bit of addition to do. Okay, get it set up. If you're still drawing, you should probably go a little faster. So, to do this first box, I'll do 4 times 5 equals what?
20.
20 what? 21s. And 4 times 3 equals 12 tenths. And to write this in standard form, what do I write down here? 20. And how do I write 12 tenths in standard? 1 and 2 tenths. Okay. Now, if you're going to add these two numbers, let's see, who wants to answer me? Miley, you're going to add these two numbers. What place value would you add first? The ones. Okay? And in fact, I'm just going to think 20 plus 1. What's the answer?
21.
And then how many tenths? Good. Very good. So that's standard form because it says to write the answer in standard form, expanded form, and word form. So just out to the side of this, write standard. That way when you study your review, you'll know that's one form. Now, I can't believe this, but someone in block 3 answered word for word what I wanted them to say. So I'm going to ask the question, and let's see how you do, okay? I said, what's the easiest way to do word form? What do you want to do before you start writing?
Think.
Good. Say
Say it in your brain.
Say the number, and I might even say it out loud. So say this number out loud for me.
21 and 2 tenths.
That's what you write. 21 and 2 tenths. Can you believe Ella remembered that word from word? Ella, and it was like this fast. And I said, what did you do? Hear me through the wall?
I bet she heard it from over there in Mrs.
You
Dillon's.
think?
Because we can hear you.
What form is this?
Word
form. Okay.
We can hear you, Miss Dillon.
You can. I'm sorry. I have a loud voice.
I mean, it's not bad.
It's not bad. Well, I'm still sorry. Okay, so let's talk about, now how will I write expanded form? Because it's the one with the parentheses and the plus signs. Okay? So I got to start and think about, well, what place value is my 2 in?
10.
Tens. So it's going to be 2 times 10 plus, what place value is the 1 in? 1. The 1's place, so it's 1 times 1. What place value is the second 2 in? Tenths. Tenths. How do I write that?
0 times 2.
Okay, so you're going to do 2 times 0.1. Okay. And then the teacher's favorite way is with
Fraction.
the fraction. But it means the same thing. You can do either or, whatever you like best, okay? And what form is this? Expanded form. So get that written out to the side. Now I asked the other kids, would you like some lines to write this on your test?
Yes.
I'll put some lines on there for you, okay? All right. So let's go on to page 2. You guys are doing great. Only 3 pages. Now, this stuff right here, here's what I told the other kids. If you would like extra credit, just go ahead and write all these in standard form and I'll give you extra credit. How's that sound?
Yeah.
So standard form means to take it from unit form and just write the digits, okay? So what would I write down here?
0.4.
Good. So 4 tenths plus 13 hundredths. Now who remembers the best way to add these up?
Like half 1300 of 14. Wait, no.
Okay, you're close. Not standard algorithm, not quite standard algorithm because it's easier when you use what? A place value chart. So are those available whenever you want to use them?
Yes.
Yes, in the room, and you even have markers at your table, okay? For today, I'll just remind you how to put it on a place value chart, okay? So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to add 4 tenths plus what? 13 hundredths. So my answer is 53 hundredths. So that's just a reminder of how to use that place value chart if you want to. Okay? If it's a test and I'm not quite sure, what do you think I would probably do? Get a place value chart. Okay? So which one's larger, 53 or 35?
53.
Good. Okay? Same thing on the next one? 12 tenths. How do I write that instead? 1.2. Good. Plus 7 tenths. Plus, good. Now you can attempt to add this just with our little v's like we did, okay? But you know me, I'd really rather get it right. So what am I probably going to do? Put it on the place value chart. So I would do 1.2, 0.7, and 43 hundredths. Okay, let's see if you get the same thing that I'm about to get. What goes in the box? Or the circle?
Equals.
Equals. They're equal. Oh, and I forgot to tell you the best part, so you're going to want to study. 2 of these are exactly like they are on the test. 2 of them. I'm not going to tell you which 2. Okay? I changed the number on everything but 2 of them, so you're going to have to study to find those. Okay. Let me get rid of this and bring it down, hopefully. In case we need it again, right? Okay, 342 hundredths. There's a couple tricks on this one. 342 hundredths is the first trick. Where's my decimal go?
And between the 3 and 4.
You're right. So 3 and 42 hundredths plus 7 tenths. Why do I like the place value chart? Has anyone figured it out?
Because it's easier.
Because there's regrouping, and so you're right, Lexi, that makes it easier. So my answer here, did you get it right?
Yeah.
Good. Is 4 and 12 hundredths.
I got it right.
How do you write this one in standard form?
3 decimal 0 4.
You think this one's on the test?
I think B and C.
Why do you think B and C?
E and F. E and F.
Oh, we'll just wait and find out tomorrow,
No,
won't
I
we?
think E.
Guess what? I can't even remember which 2 it is because I did this yesterday. Okay, so which way does my sign need to go? Which number's
4
larger?
decimal 4.
4 and 12 hundredths is larger. Oh, by the way, just look at your whole number whenever you can, okay? They're trying to trick you with the 9 here into making you think that's a larger number. Don't let them trick you. Look at your whole numbers, okay? All right, let's take a look at the next one. Now, when I first look at this, I think, okay, I'm going to add the 3 plus the 24. Then I went, wait a minute. That looks like expanded form to me. So I need this in my problem. And then it makes more sense. This is the ones place. This is the tenths place. This is the hundredths place. Okay, so it's going to be 3 plus, how many tenths?
2.4.
24 tenths is 2.4 plus,
1 decimal.
It's totally going to be F on the test.
okay, let's not worry about that. Let's concentrate on this, okay? So best way to add this up. You want the place value chart?
Yeah.
It looks a little confusing, doesn't it?
Yes.
But I think once we think about it, so we've got a 3, and then we've got 2.4 and 16 hundredths. So my answer here,
5 decimal 5 6.
now, don't get fooled. Look at your whole numbers. What are the 2 whole numbers?
5.
5 and 3.
So
So which is larger?
5 decimal 5 3 6.
Why do you think they were hoping you would pick this one?
Because it has more digits.
More digits doesn't always mean larger, does it?
Nope.
Nope. You guys are so smart. Okay, take a look at the next one. So this looks like expanded form to me. I've got 14 ones, or 110, right? And then my parentheses need to be here, because this is tenths and thousandths. So no hundreds. Okay, so 14 plus 72 tenths. How do I write that?
7.2.
Good. Plus,
0.4. Or just 4. 0, 0.
they wanted you to put that.
0.004.
Right, 4 thousandths. Okay? So help me out here. I think I can do this without a place value chart. Because I have ones, 14 plus 7
8.
is 21 ones, right? Plus 2 tenths plus 4 thousandths.
You got it right.
So 21, how many tenths do I have?
2.
How many hundredths?
0.
How many thousandths? Okay, so I have 21 and 204 thousandths, or 21 and 24 hundredths. Mario?
21 and 2.
He says 24 hundredths is larger. If you're not sure, even up your place values. This one is 204 thousandths, this one is 240 thousandths. Which one's larger?
21 and 24.
So was he right?
Yes.
Yes, he was.
That one.
Now here, this is tricky. This one is not the one I know I changed this one. Okay? I'm pretty sure I kept your exponents the same, though I just gave you different numbers. So take a look at this. What mistake did we make on the last test, and we decided we were going to do something different on the next test because the decimal hop messed us up? We were going to rewrite.
Write the number.
Okay, so let's rewrite 5 tenths. And rewrite 6 thousandths. Now, 5 tenths times 10 to the second
Is 100.
is how many hops?
2.
2. So that number ends up being what?
50.
50. And then times 10 to the third on this one, how many hops?
3.
3. So that number ends up being what?
6.
So 50 plus 6.
56.
56. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the next one. So rewrite 5 tenths and rewrite 6 tenths.
30 tenths.
So 5 tenths
5.
times 10 ends up being what?
5.
Okay. 6 tenths times 10 to the second
60.
ends up being 60.
65.
65.
The 65.
65 is larger. Very good, boys and girls. Okay? Miley?
I realized that the number on the left side is actually the same number, just turned around.
Yeah, they're trying to get you to think they're equal. Yeah. I don't know why there are so many tricks, but I don't think you're going to fall for them. Because you didn't fall for them today, so I don't know why you would tomorrow. Okay, this last page is one of those problems that just keeps going and going and going. Okay? And basically, this page right here is the entire 5th grade year in math all put into one page. Okay? So we're going to work through it and you're going to do fine. Okay? First thing I'm going to do is read what's going on. So this doctor, and in my opinion, I feel like he's like a mad scientist or something, but maybe not. Okay? Dr. Mann? No, he's really not because he's mixing medicine. So he must be a real doctor. Or maybe he's a pharmacist. I don't know.
Maybe he's a crazy guy.
Okay, so let's look at it. He mixed 13 and 258 thousandths grams of chemical A, 10 and 55 thousandths grams of chemical B, and 3 and 602 thousandths grams of chemical C to make 5 doses of medicine. Now don't forget that. How many doses did he make?
5.
5. So that means you could take it 5 times with the amount he's making. Maybe once in the morning, once at night, once in the morning, once at night. Okay?
5 days.
Maybe it's once a day for 5 days. Okay? So this first question says, and it tells you exactly what to do, about how much medicine did he make in grams? Well, first of all, about, what am I going to do? Round. I'm so glad you didn't say estimate. We are estimating, but in 5th grade you have to round first. So it says, estimate the amount of each chemical by rounding to the nearest tenth. We probably need to highlight that or put a box around it.
Can we get a highlight?
No, don't get your highlighter out. Yeah, 1/10 of a gram before finding the sum. What does that tell me I'm going to do?
To add.
So I'm going to round and then add. Round first and then add, okay? So let's get it all laid out like this. We've got 3 chemicals, right? Write down the actual amount, and then we'll round it. And I like my squiggles, but if you don't want to, you can just put a dash there or something, okay? So those 2 lines mean we're rounding it. What place value are we rounding to?
Hundreds.
Tenths. We put a box around it, right? Okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to box everything to the tenths place. So start with chemical A, box everything, all the digits to the tenths place. Now remember, that's what we would put on the bottom of the number line. But we're good enough to do this in our head. We did it to the nearest 1 on a sprint, so I think we could still do it to the nearest tenth the same way. What did we do? You remember?
Nope.
We looked at the place value to the right. So what place value is to the right of the tenths place?
58.
The 5, the hundredths. Okay? Just the 5 is all I'm looking at. Jose, what does the 5 tell me I'm going to do? Stay the same or round up? Round up. So I've got 13.2. If I'm going to round that up to the nearest 10, 13.3. Don't look at the 8. Ignore it. It's just there to mess you up.
It's like
Okay?
the 9.
Right. So box everything to the tenths place. That's 100 tenths. And I'm going to look at the 5. What does the 5 tell me to do?
Round up.
Round up. So what comes after 0?
1.
So 10.1 or 101 tenths. Do you remember this now from the sprint?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we looking at on the next one? Are you underlining the hundredths place?
Yes.
You might want to because it's going to be the same thing tomorrow. Underline the hundredths place, okay? So the 0 tells me I'm going to do what?
Down.
Stay the same, right? Okay, so I've got 36 tenths, 3.6. Okay? Did you write that down? Okay, now the sum, what am I going to do?
Add.
Add. When I add, what's a good strategy?
To put the decimal.
Yeah, go ahead and put the decimals on there and then put the digits around them so you get them in the right place. The only trick here is 3.6 is, it only has ones, not tens place. So check your answer with mine.
No, I was multiplying.
You're supposed to add.
Wait.
This is what I said, the entire 5th grade year comes down to 1 page so far. Now, it's nothing to be nervous about. You know how to add.
Yeah.
I just reminded you what adding looks like. We're reviewing, you're going to be fine, okay? So to answer the question, how would you answer it if someone asked about how much medicine did he make in grams? Dr. Mann,
Made 27.
about.
About.
Uh-oh, I forgot doctor.
Dr. Mann made about 27 grams of medicine.
Uh-huh. What if you don't know how to spell medicine?
It's up in your paper.
It is, it's in the question. Dr. Mann made about 27 grams of medicine. Now, to me, this is easier than drawing 3 vertical number lines and doing the rounding that way. What if you'd rather do it on a number line? Is that okay with me?
Yes.
Yeah, don't we have those on the back of the place value charts?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's an option if that's easier to understand, okay? Rounding to the nearest tenth. Okay, here's the next part of the problem. Now you got to know the difference between estimate and actual. Actual is what?
Subtract.
No,
Adding the actual number.
the actual number, the number from the problem originally. Okay? So it says find the actual amount of medicine by, let me start over. Find the actual amount of medicine mixed by Dr. Mann. Now here's what Lexi was saying. What is the difference between? So she was thinking, I'm going to subtract because she saw this word. But before I subtract, what do you think I need to do? Add them all up. But I have to add the numbers from the problem, not the ones I rounded. Okay? So simply write those down. And add them up. Now, boys and girls, here's the problem. If you add this incorrectly, you're going to miss about 3 problems. Yeah, B, C, and D. So double check your addition tomorrow, okay? Add it up and then check it with mine. See if you got the same thing.
I got it right.
Okay. So tomorrow, it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and add it twice just to make sure you get it right. Because your answer on C and D are depending on your ability to add.
I forgot to add 6 and 2.
Okay. So now I've got an actual amount. 26 and 915 thousandths grams. What was my estimate?
27.
27 grams. Now I'm going to find the difference between those. So Lexi already said, what are we going to do? Subtract. Difference means subtract. Here's the problem. Which number is larger?
27.
27? Everyone agree?
No.
No. Oh, never mind.
26.
I agree.
It's bigger. Wait.
Yeah, which number is larger? Which means more?
26 and 9.
No, that has more digits.
27.
27 is larger. So that's the trick, and you have a trick sort of like that on your test. So 27 is written like this. 26, we're subtracting, right? And 915 thousandths is written like that. Toby, what do I need to do?
You might as well put the zeros.
I might as well put the zeros. I don't have a choice. Okay, so now it looks to me like I've got some regrouping to do. What do you think?
Yes.
So this is a 9, this is a 9, this is a
10.
Okay. Okay, Lupita, just pay attention. Don't worry about somebody else's. Then you can subtract.
Done.
Shh.
I got it right.
I probably don't need to write the other 0 for 2 minus 2, do I?
No.
Okay, so what is the difference between the two amounts?
85 thousandths of a gram.
85 thousandths of a gram. So the difference between the estimate and actual amounts is 85 thousandths of a gram. Now the reason I didn't put the difference is 85 thousandths of a gram,
It wouldn't be 7.
it wouldn't be 7 words. So when you study, not if you, but when you study, might be a good idea to take a look at all the sentences we're writing. Because remember I said the words on these problems don't change, it's just the digits in the numbers, okay? So now that we've got that, C. How many grams are in 1 dose of medicine? How many doses? How many doses did he make? Divide. Okay. So here's what I want to do. You know how I like to organize my thinking. Okay? This would be like 1 dose of medicine right here. 1 dose. Right there. And that's what we have to find out. Now, in order to do that, I have to know how much he started with, don't I?
Yes.
So how much did he start with?
27.
No. I'm glad you said that, though. That was my estimate. Would I divide an estimate to find out how much 1 dose contained? Never. If I'm a doctor and I'm measuring medicine, it has to be exact, right?
Yes.
So which one of these is exact?
26,915,000.
Very good. So that's what goes on top, and that's my dividend. What's the best way to solve this problem? Divide, standard algorithm. Okay, move it over so you don't run into these words because it's kind of a long problem. It's easy, but it's long. So write it over here, okay? Now I'm going to ask a question. Do you think I will have to add on trailing zeros? Put your pencils down and answer my question.
Yes.
Yes. No.
Why not,
Yes.
Jose?
Because the number is already. I lost time.
Mario, what do you
The
think?
number at the end is a 5. It's the same as.
What's the divisibility rule for 5?
It has to end with 5 or 0.
If the number ends in a 5 or a 0, it's divisible by 5.
Oh,
So since this ends in a 5, I know it's going to divide evenly.
it's going to be a perfect problem.
Okay, so we won't have to add trailing zeros. I'm going to remind you a good strategy for figuring out division problems. Okay, I'll stop there because I know we don't have to go any further. Write your multiples down. Did you do that yesterday when I was gone? Did anybody write your 12s down and figure out the 12 problems? Awesome! I didn't want to miss that at all.
That was hard because you had to put a 0 right there. And then I got it like.
Okay. We'll talk about it when we get this done, okay?
get to 100.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, I don't think I'm going to start with the 2, am I? So where would I chunk this? 26. Which number is closest to 26? 5 times what? Equals,
5.
so write it above what number? The 2 or the 6?
6.
Good. What number is closest to 19?
15.
15. 5 times what?
3.
What number is closest to 41?
40.
5 times what?
8.
Oh, you guys are so good at this. What number is closest to 15? 15. 5 times 3 equals 15. Okay. Now I will tell you this. There are 5 doses on the test, and your actual amount does end in a 5. They'll just be different numbers. Okay? Now here's what it says. So each dose was what?
5.
Okay?
300.
Each dose contained
About.
no, not about 5 and 383 grams. And it says explain your strategy for solving this problem. Explain your strategy. What did you use?
The long division.
Long division. So you could just put I used long division. Or you could say standard algorithm to solve the problem. Now, algorithm, it's got to be on your paper somewhere. If it's not, just do your best, okay? Now here's the question. Somebody in block 3 said, well, I'm just going to write one sentence, and it's going to say, I used long division to find out that each dose contained 5 and 383,000 grams. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can combine your sentences. Now, this is really good right here. It says round the weight of one dose to the nearest gram. So we'll talk about that in a minute. What is the weight of one dose?
5 and 383
Thousandths grams. Good. And it says to round it to the nearest gram. What place value do you think, Daniel, gram would be? Ask your neighbor. I think he knows.
The nearest.
What do you think, Christian?
Nearest one.
Or whole number? Is that what you were going to say, Daniel? Okay. So we're going to round to the nearest whole number. And I'm going to look at what place value?
3.
The 3. What does the 3 tell me I'm going to do? Stay the same. Good. Now I'm going to tell you right now on your test, there's a chance you might round up on this one.
What?
I'm just saying, double check it when you get to it. Okay? All right? Might have just given you an answer there.
Perfect time.
Okay.
I mean.
Now